Do you hate messy cables? Well, in this video, we're making a cable management system with FreeCAD. For context, we live in a medium-sized 3-bedroom semi-detached house in Wales. For those of you outside of the UK, Wales is a separate country to England. We are part of the UK. We have our own national anthem. We have a different language. Llanfair Pwllgwyngyll Gogeres Windrobot Llantysilio Go Go Go. We even have a dragon on our flag. If you want to go looking for Wales, take a look at the map of the UK. We're the important bit on the left. Back to the issue at hand, we're doing some property maintenance and we need to get it done before the end of winter. The big challenge here is that our two sons decided that they were going to swap bedrooms, with the youngest actually going into the smallest of the 3 bedrooms that we've got available. As you can see, the room is really small, but the installation of a loft bed means that we can actually recover some of the space that's here. It's given us enough space to have a corner desk with a computer with 2 monitors on it, which is a good place for the youngest to do his homework, potentially start live streaming himself. Which is where we start to see our problem. Under the desk, there's a lot of mess from the cables, and there's plenty of opportunity for these to be kicked, pulled, and damaged. So we need to find a solution that tidies these cables up that's pretty simple. I settled on a modular cable clip design for this project. So after taking some basic measurements of the cables, I jumped into FreeCAD and started sketching out the geometry that would make up the clip itself. Starting with a rectangle that would make up the base, I added some circles which had some parameters assigned to specify the internal and external diameters. Using the tangent tool, I lined up all of the larger circles with each other and all of the smaller circles with the external edge of this rectangle. Using the coincident tool, I then aligned all of the relevant circles. Once this was complete, I drew a tangent line across each of the sets of the circles and used the trim tool to define the final shape of the clip. All that was left was to define some of the dimensions that had been cropped as part of the trim process and to find any errors where coincidents weren't set correctly. Once that was complete, it was a case of just extruding this into 3D space. Once extruded, I created a sketch on the back side of the model, sketching out 2 circles that would make up the hole. Then using the pocket tool, I passed these circles through the model to create the holes. And the model was complete. Time for 3D printing. So I often get asked, why did I get into 3D printing? All you can make is those 3D printed miniatures that go on your desk, right? You can't make anything useful. So I thought I'd use this video to demonstrate a simple use case where 3D printing can provide a practical solution and be more than a toy, making it a tool. So now we've got a bunch of these clips made, we can just go ahead and start attaching them and organizing the cables. So with the computer in place, we've got to figure out where the cables are going to go. We've got power outlets to consider. We've also got USB cables that are different diameters and so on. So what I've got to do now is to measure each of the cables and see whether or not I can run them across this section of the bed frame. So to give you an idea how cramped this space is, I've measured the cables, but unfortunately I can't get the camera in a good enough position to be able to show off what I did. So ultimately what I've done is this white board that you see underneath the table just here. So this is the frame of the bed. This ties the 2 legs on this one side together to stop them from moving. We're going to attach our cables to this. And I've measured the cables to see whether or not they will actually fit along this area. The first thing we're going to do is to get the placement of the electrical outlets under the desk, and we have 2 mounting holes that we can use, but we need to transfer this to the frame. Here I'm using some painter's tape on the back of the sockets, and using a pencil I'm tracing where the holes are. So the way to remember the wire UK plug is that the green and yellow wire is earth, that goes to the top. Blue is bottom left, BL. Brown, BR, bottom right. So I think the cable management system turned out really well. The cables are now no longer dangling around the floor where they can be kicked, and they're all nice and neatly trained around the frame of the bed, to power, to all the different data points. So the question is 3D printing a tool or a toy? Well, I think in this use case it shows that it's an effective tool. We've been able to create a custom cabling system that you couldn't purchase off the shelf, and it's bespoke for this particular room. So this could be any situation whereby you need a custom piece that needs to solve a problem. So if you need to solve a specific problem, 3D printing is a very powerful tool, providing you have knowledge of CAD. It's really important that you learn CAD when you're getting into 3D printing to unlock the 3D printer's full potential. So put down in the comments what problems you're solving with your 3D printer. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and why not give me a subscribe for more content like this, and I'll catch you in the next one.